Well, here we are, best of 5 between the Raiders and Team Copium. Towers of Doom is the first map. We had the last chance qualifier for the Heroes International. And this could well be the final series of this tournament. There is a chance that we're going to determine now which team goes to Miami. To the last third team for Europe already washed up, and the Bang Bush have been qualified through qualifier number 1 and qualifier number 2. So currently Team Copium has a chance to get a ticket if they win this best of 5. So if they succeed here, then they are definitely through. There's obviously also a couple of calculations going on still with map wins and everything. But at the end of the day, if you want to be 100% sure, come in swinging, win the series, and then you're already ahead because, again, Copium did exceptionally well against the Cats. And, well, for now, we have on our first map the ban on Sergeant Hammer and also on Hanzo. Keep in mind that a lot of these teams have, of course, watched each other play quite a bit and played against each other already throughout qualifier number 1 and qualifier number 2. If, by the way, you want to have additional information about the main event that happens in Miami in the middle of October on the 14th to 16th, you can also check out the link right over there. Have a little bit of a look. And there's all the information, where exactly the tournament takes place. It's open to the audience. You can also come visit if you live nearby. You're combining it with a bit of a trip. There's $11,000 for the teams in prize money. Players get that trip paid and so on and so forth. So it's a pretty big event. It's going to be awesome. Tim is going to be there. Trixler, I'm going to be there too. So if you want to stop by, then by all means, do that. Genji has the first pick on Towers of Doom for the Raiders. And can Team Copium win this one? Can they lock this one in? Yes or no? They've been doing great throughout the entire day. I mean, it was impressive to see them go up against the Cats. I was honestly quite astonished, considering that in the qualifiers, they were always like eye on eye level, but yeah. Now we got Brightwing again, so this whole combo with Brightwing, Diablo worked really well for them. They oftentimes pick Urel together with this too, so that they have an incredibly beefy frontline that can bully opponents around. We're just pushing them right, left, right. We get the next double pick here for the Raiders. And there is a chance for an Anduin combo. That has been shut down in all of the previous series, mainly by Anduin being banned out. Very rarely did he make it through, and pretty much never with Genji. But they are not even aiming for it. Instead, they're getting Sven, Zrega. There's also the map where the Raiders busted out the Vikings once. So something to definitely keep in mind here, too. It would be kind of wild if we're going to get to see that again. And I don't really think so. They won the game where they played the Vikings, if I remember correctly. But they were also struggling a little bit. So currently, Leo, he's banned out. No drain against Diablos. They don't have that. They don't have to deal with the Entomb either. And what are the Raiders getting rid of? What's going to be banned here? There it is. The side laner. Blaze is banned. So Blaze, Hogger, and Leo are all out, which means that there's still a couple of side layers left, but this is the Urel pick more or less guaranteed now. If you're Team Copium, with the way that they've been playing Urel time and time again, this is playing into their hands. They take Urel now away, and then we have to figure out what the Raiders are going to take. But yes, Urel is locked in, and there's the Junkrat pick too. So this draft is so far right down their comfort zone. I mean, this is pretty much what you're playing the entire tournament already, so I would assume that Team Copium is currently very happy with the way that this draft is shaping up. Whereas for the Raiders, they now need to figure out what they're going to do on the side lane, what hero they are going to pick here. I mean, there's obviously still a couple of options available to them. Only 4 have been removed, but what's going to be the pick? The Vikings, again, I just talked about them. And they're going for the Vikings once more. And we have the Galaxy main tank, Imperius. So both of the teams have pretty much exactly what they want here. The Raiders have already played this particular style on Towers of Doom in a previous series, and they won that game. Now Team Copium has to deal with that, and they have a final pick, so they can now decide with Gaffalo what exactly want to do to counteract the Vikings here. But generally speaking, they should be pretty happy with their own draft. But they need something. Oh, baby! Illidan is in the house! Feel the hatred of 10,000 Hero League games. Okay, here we are. Illidan is in the house. We're gonna get a Viking Hunter. Guys, this is gonna get wild. By the way, keep in mind that there's only one main tank, so to say, at the front line for the Raiders. They're missing quite a bit of a beefy front line here. But let's go. Game number 1 in the best of 5. And he's back! Illidan is in the house, everybody! The man with the blindfold. On the left side for the blue team, Team Copium. We have Casper on Urel, we got Simply on Diablo. Gavlo is rocking Illidan. Bright being played once more by Vexu. Nano is playing Junkrat. Towards the right side of the map, the Raiders with Sven on Rega. We got Uki on the Vikings. We got Gia on Genji, Galaxy on Imperius, and Vito is playing Sylvanas. Okay, this is gonna get wild quickly. Illidan, of course, he can chase 6 days to Sunday, and he is insane if you let him get on structures, which is one of the reasons why they picked him here. In the days of HGC, there was a time when the Koreans, and Rich back then in particular, picked Illidan in some of the games, because what they pretty much did was they just left Illidan on the side lane and attacked structures with him and took them down. And that was incredibly successful for them. And definitely taught the Western teams a lesson there. Never leave Illidan on the side lane alone to his own devices. He goes on level 1 into the Unending Hatred. And with that, again, that's super interesting right now, because if he starts to take the Vikings down a couple of times, he can really stack that real nicely. So that should be pretty good. And yeah, on top of that, we have, with only Imperius, not a lot of stuns available for the Raiders. I mean, if you're talking about Illidan, Wood League players in particular always think that when you're having an Illidan on the other side, they are like panicking. They're like, oh my god, you need blinds, 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 blinds. Best counter to Illidan is just to kill him. And the best way to do that is to lock him down. Get some stuns together. It's one of the reasons why in the earlier days, when the hero pools were a lot smaller, Muradin was one of the go-to choices against Illidan. But any kind of CC that you can use against him, and stun locks are fantastic to burst him down and drop him. Which is why this is a pretty cool draft for Illidan, because there's only Imperius at the front line. Now on level 16 you get with the Large and Charge another tool through Olaf that can help a bit. But still, this is kind of awesome. So, very curious to see what he can do as the game continues. But we're going to have him on the side rotation between the mid and the top lane, which also guarantees more and more stacks on his level 1. So I think his late game damage is going to be pretty incredible. We'll see what he can pull off at the end of the game, but I think this is going to be very dangerous for the Raiders, especially since they're already starting to lose some ground at the bottom of the map as Imperius falls. So first blood once again for Team Copium. The attack continues, and well, here we are. They're making a move for Gia. Sylvanas obviously sheared these counts a bit too, so she can at least silence Illidan with a Wailing Arrow, unless she goes into the mind control and tries to connect that. But those are all just theoretical points. We'll see at the end of the day what he can actually pull off here. But this is exactly what I said at the beginning of the game. The structural damage that Illidan can get in. The fact just simply is that if you're just having a Viking there, it's not going to be enough to stop Illidan. So they need other heroes to rotate topside and deal with it. And Genji is already attempting to do exactly that. And you can see where the problem lies. If they leave Illidan alone at the top lane, then he's just going to do mad amounts of damage and will eventually convert that bell tower over. If they send somebody else to help the Vikings, then they're reducing the numbers at the bottom of the map, and it's going to be much easier for Team Copium to win the shrines there. So that was a fantastic pick for Team Copium, at least in theory, and we're going to see how it works out in practice. But the first altar has been channeled, and I guess at least for now, the Raiders are going to get 2 out of the 3. That's what they're working at least. Illidan gets 1. Down here, they're still trying to interrupt. What we need to keep an eye on, of course, is the stacking process for Illidan just in general. So, yeah, there we are. We got him about to hit that, or the damage output that he's going to get. But well, as it stands, we still have the fight for the bottom altar, and that means that the Vikings are all alone in the middle and the top lane. Oh, but Brightwing. Talking about being all alone, right? Brightwing dead. They try to get the counter kill. And they might still get it. Maybe not. He's down. He's dead, but so is Urel. So mad damage down here. This time the Vikings are doing a good job. Illidan, in the meantime, has taken down Balog up at the top. And of course, right now, Sylvana's even falling at the bottom of the map, and the fight's still continuing as it seems. Seems like Junkrat is not gonna make it either. Well, maybe with Brightwing assisting. Nope, it's not meant to be. He's still falling, but a good wall stun from Diablo, and maybe a grab could also lead to the doggy being kicked. Illidan is at 16 stacks on his level 1, has opened up the top lane, so yes, he will eventually go for that bell tower and try to take it down. We got 3 kills to 3, so it's already a wild opening into game number 1 of this best of 5. But a very interesting game to say the least. Illidan with a rapid chase on level 7. The only thing that's really important to note here is that we still don't really know what he's going to go for on level 10. There's a couple of different ways in how you could play this, and you can make good arguments in favor of both the Hunt and also Metamorphosis. It depends very heavily on how you're trying to play the game right now. If you're going for the pseudo global and you try and assist in team fights, maybe go and jump in when a Viking channels an altar, you can make some mad plays with that. But of course, having the numbers in big team fights would allow you to get good value out of the Metamorphosis too. So if he is worried about his survivability, then this is something that he could do too, and that allows you also to dodge out on wailing arrows and other things. So it depends a bit on how risky you want to play this. And well, we already know he's going for the Hunt right away and says hello to the bot lane. Doesn't lead to a kill. Both teams have now level 10, but it definitely showcases that they are going from the beginning for the aggression here. Don't think he can do too much on his own just yet, but we have the Hunt. We have also pretty much the normal abilities that we had in all of the previous games too. There's the Ancestral Healing in play. We have Genji with the Dragon Blade. He's not gonna make it, so Eric is out, but at least the channel on the right side has happened. They're going to trade these once again. But down to the bottom of the map with Sylvanas. The push is empowered, and the Raiders are looking for structures. Illidan is in the house. We had a couple of Malfurion games, and I still to the day can't believe that these guys are supposed to be brothers. I mean, Illidan is the cool and sophisticated one that solves all of his problems with his big blades. And then you have Malfurion, who's just an old geezer that is closer to his grave than anything else. And is still mossy. I mean, honestly, like, he is just... There's so much mold on this guy. It's kind of crazy. And Illidan, look at him. Agile, sexy, jumping in and just ripping them apart. Sylvanas is already getting cleaved to death here. And that's a quick kill. Illidan making work of them. And also starting to chase Genji. Trying to get a kill here. Goes up against him and against Rhaegar. And he doesn't care who he kills. Illidan doesn't give a shit. Illidan see, Illidan kill. That's how it works. So he went for Genji first and Genji escaped. And he's like, alright, then I'm gonna kill the doggy. So he's dead already. They take the bottom bell tower and whew, are they pulling ahead here. 6 kills, 2-3. Now they're going for the camps as Illidan is rotating back towards the top, attempting to chase a couple of Vikings and do his thing. And yeah, look at Belok. He's already running away. The rest of the team is also here, and there's no Hunt, so he can't escape with that. I guess we're gonna get a kill or a Brightwing save. Brightwing save it is! Galaxy with a nice attempt at a lunge, but that didn't really work. So we have a double altar popping up at the bottom of the map. Bell tower situation, obviously a 5-3 right now, so there's that. And yeah, Nano at the bot lane, starting to move over too in order to help them maybe to push a pumpkin into the death zone as well. But they're going for the altars, and without level 13 talent, it doesn't really seem like the Raiders are going to try and do anything about it. Not even the Vikings are interrupting this, which I think is a bit of a mistake. That's 10 shots off the opponent's core, and therefore we're down to 22 to 28 points now. And Illidan is still pushing the top lane out. So, yeah, doing his thing. Illidan sitting tight, and bam, just going for it. Down here, Yrel. She's going to be good. We still have a bit of a battle happening as Sylvanas gets moved back. They're trying to go for Rhaegar. Pumpkins get destroyed. Ancestral saves the dog for now. But boy, oh boy, the barbecue. That's a dead Rhaegar. 7 kills to 3. Team Copium, everybody. Whew. They are crushing in this game. 9 minutes in, and they're already looking strong. Now, in damage, we have 28,000 for Junkrat. Illidan is on 14,000. I mean, Illidan players usually, especially in the early and mid game, don't really have a lot of damage numbers. It's more so about the single target damage, and they don't have a lot of AoE that they can deal with. But it's just the chase and the single target pressure that really makes him a monster, or made him a monster in the past. These days there are too many counters, but in this particular game, there's not a whole lot around that can deal with him, so he has a lot of wiggle room there, and he's dealing with the Vikings perfectly at this point. Balog is dead, Illidan is just continuing to do his thing, and the level 1 is also going to be helpful for that. With level 16 talents, we got the Blades of Azeroth, and it's just awesome to see Illidan again. It's been a while, it's been a hot minute. So now they're moving in for the top. Spin to win is there, trying to get a few more kills. One is in. The Vikings definitely suffering here. Brightwing helping out instantaneously as the attack is shaping up. But we have another channel from Nano down at the bottom of the map. Nobody's trying to interrupt. That's another 5 shots towards the core, and therefore we're down to 17 points now. The problem is really more so the experience gain that we're seeing for Copium. They're 1.5 levels ahead now, and this is just a mad problem for them. And again, the pressure mounts up. It's not only the bot lane that we are talking about. The control there is, of course, super important and really helpful, but we also see Rel pushing out the mid lane even more. Illidan is just time and time again killing the Vikings up at the top and is pressuring that bell tower too. The bottom fight is something that doesn't even interest in him too much, and the Vikings have to rotate back towards the top side to try and prevent the worst. If another bell tower is lost, then the situation would just snowball fully out of control for the Raiders. So they are definitely looking for something to get back into the game. What they need first is level 16, and then they need a good team fight. So if all of these things pan out for them, they have a chance to bring this back. It's not easy. The Nordic Attack Squad on level 13, the Way of the Shimada, and Remorseless. Blizzard getting a little bit lazy on the icon design, so just using the same thing. But there's the 16, so that gives him at least a large and charge. That helps a little bit. That gives you an additional stun against Illidan, so slightly more control against him. But he is just waiting for the next altar wave to activate, and that's going to be the case in 20 seconds. And technically, they could make a mad step towards victory in game number 1 and even win it if they go for the boss afterwards. But for that, they would have to take all 3 of them. Talking about taking kills, Balog down again down here. Brightwing gets killed. Maybe that's the start of a comeback, but Genji pays with his life for the kill. Diablo is dead too, but he had the souls, of course. And Illidan is ready for the channel at the top. They're trying to steal as many of these away as they possibly can. Illidan is going to get this one for sure. 5 shots fired. Diablo going to make a play for the one on the left. And Illidan is just continuing with the damage against Eric. There's going to be an interrupt. No! They get the 5 shots. So 2 out of the 3 altars are taken. They're down to the single digits right now. Still attempting to reclaim the bell tower here, as you can see. And we now have Illidan back on the top lane. They are making move for the Vikings, and oh my god. Poor Balog. No matter where he goes, he just gets crushed. But yeah, that's just what it is. So, Illidan sitting tight, giving you guys a bit of an idea. So we had 71 stacks for him. Illidan is currently at 71 stacks on his baseline. So the attack damage definitely going pretty high up. Just farming the Vikings whenever he has a chance. 72 for him right now, and the trend is obviously just continuing. The stronger he gets, the easier it is for him to get those Viking kills. He's the one rotating between lanes. And Sven is pausing the game, maybe to treat all of those burns that they received so far in this series, or in this one. But yeah, seems like everybody is here. I don't think anybody disconnected, actually. Yeah, Gia is also in play, but we had a couple of technical issues also on other teams. Copium, for example, struggled a few times with Caspar and apparently his monitor, which is acting up a little bit. But we got a 6-kill advantage currently for Team Copium, 11 kills to 5. Illidan, of course, is still controlling the top and the mid lane. And we have another altar now coming up at the bottom of the map. And this is really getting super dangerous, because this one is so difficult to access if you don't have control over the bot lane bell tower. The main reason why you're always aiming for the bot lane in the first place is that you have 2 pumpkin camps that both march through the bottom of the map. So if you have full lane control, you can get core damage in through those. And access to particularly this one altar is incredibly difficult because you have to access it from the top. You don't have a fountain nearby, you don't have a bell tower that can assist you nearby, so it's a total nightmare. And this is exactly the situation that they're dealing with right now. They have to somehow reclaim this, and while they are trying to do that, we have Illidan and Yrel pushing for control in the middle. This one is already low, and of course at the top the same thing happens. So once that Illidan gets on those, he can work all of that attack damage in that he already built up. They're also still a level ahead. Now, the gap is not insane. It's a 1 level gap. We're not talking about 2 levels or anything, but an early level 20 would, of course, give Team Copium an additional boost. And with 25 points to 7, there's not really a lot of wiggle room anymore for the Raiders. To be fair, this is a comeback map. Always has been. So if you get some late game control, then you can definitely do well here. But the second triple altar phase is already over. And normally where the Vikings really excel is controlling that, making sure that you have the Vikings interrupting the opponent as they channel, and then fighting for those altars, buying a little bit of time. And that's already passed. So this is not happening anymore. Meaning they have to use the Vikings in team fights over a single altar, or maybe 2, which makes it a bit more tricky, especially after level 20. So we'll see if they can do that. But either way, as this is playing out at the bot lane, Illidan is having a fun time here. He gets a lot of minion stacks together. That's all attack damage that he gets through his level 1. He can also get the camps here at the top, and he is taking the Vikings down. And now the single altar is spawning. So if you're the Raiders, you really, really want that bell tower. And honestly, they should get it. It's so low that the moment that Team Copium retreats a little bit, they should be able to get this one with Sylvanas. But it's the top lane that really worries me more than anything, because you can see that Balog doesn't stand a chance here. I mean, he just gets farmed. So Balog gets farmed, and I think that top altar gets taken. That I like, though. That's a sneaky little play. And I'm not sure if they're going to see what's happening here. So they can interrupt. I actually thought they would try and steal it, but they don't. They could steal it now. Still not happening. They're going for the damage though. Eric is stealing it as we speak, and I think he's gonna get it. Eric steals the altar. They're losing a little bit more here, but Eric gets the 3 shots for the team. The problem is that they're pretty much losing everybody now. Illidan is diving in deep. He wants Sylvanas, and he gets Sylvanas. So now Sylvanas is dead, and they can go for full control of all of the bell towers if they want to. Gavlo is already moving towards the top. They are taking care of the one in the middle. The boys in red have to take control over the one at the bot lane, or they are going to fall apart here. But a nice and sneaky little move by Eric at the bottom of the map as they went for it. And Illidan is now controlling the top. So full bell tower control is ready. 7 shots are needed in order for them to win the game. And the bot lane, that's where the big fight is now happening, because this can easily be accomplished if they are YOLOing in for it. But I don't think they can afford it right now. It's a 5 versus 3. If you count the Vikings, it's a 5 versus 5, I guess. And they are YOLOing for it. As we speak, they're really trying, and they're gonna get it, but it comes at a price. Already, Rhaegar is dead, so are the Vikings. They take at least the bell tower. It's 4 points on the core, meaning the boss would end the game. Illidan and Diablo are already on their way. Genji is also going to die here. He's not making it. He can try to escape, but yeah, Bright being the one to take him down, and now the top side is already at it. So, taking another quick look here, Illidan is currently at 83 stacks on his level 1. Nicely done, and that is a pretty clean victory for Team Copium in the first game of the series, as they take the lead in the best of 5 at the last chance qualifier for the Heroes International. GG and well played.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Game number 2, Infernal Shrines. Well, we have an Illidan victory, 100% win rate. Viable, viable, viable. Nah, the draft worked really well for them there. Illidan against the Vikings, that was just a winning recipe from the beginning, and very few CC tools for the Raiders that they could use against him. So it was a pretty smart choice for Team Copium after they saw the Vikings pick there. And as mentioned before, once that you have Illidan on structures, he can also take them down quite easily and therefore you need to consistently watch him. So Copium read that very, very well and reacted in a pretty cool way. That was honestly a pick that I had at no point on the radar. I was looking for other heroes in my head that they could use to take the Vikings down, but capitalizing on that the way that they did was quite well done. Now, of course, it seems at least right now that Copium is also on a bit of a higher level than the Raiders here. This can shift quickly. But I gotta give them some credit here, not only for the execution, but also just like through thinking this one through. But once that he looked at the draft with Imperius as the main tank, no real second frontliner outside of the Vikings, that was obviously a very, very smart choice. But either way, we got the bans out for map number 2. We're going to Infernal Shrines now. The Raiders, of course, have to bring this one back. As I said before, if the team in blue wins this best of 5, then it is all over. We don't even need the next best of 5 anymore. Again, this is a double round robin, so the 3 remaining teams play 2 best of 5s against each other. So full double round robin. But the last one, the 6th game, isn't even needed if Team Copium wins this one now as well. And they are making some massive moves now. In general, right now, in this last chance qualifier, they are now, in regards to maps, 7-0. They've won 7 maps in a row and haven't dropped a single one. That is insanely impressive. So Brightwing gets taken again. I mean, you can see that the opening that they're using here is actually fairly standard. They love their Diablo. They love their Brightwing. Depending, a little bit map dependent also what heroes they are going for. But there's another chance that they're going to go for Urel here if she's not banned out. So Urel together with Diablo is just incredibly popular and very strong. It's Infernal Shrine, so you can also make a strong argument for Leoric and all of the wave clear that he brings to the table that will help you on the shrine. And the CC that comes with it too. But definitely a chance for Urel. The one hero that we haven't really seen a whole lot in this last chance qualifier that normally plays a much bigger role is Dehaka. Now, I think we had 1 or 2 Dehaka games on the first day on Garden of Terror, but he isn't all that popular right now for the teams. So Dehaka is getting ignored at least a bit. Would also be a solid pick here, but again, with Leoric being banned, I think Urel is probably the best bet. We got Blaze, we got Hans on the other side. Sylvanas has been banned this time too. And outside of the possible Urel pick, question is of course, what are we getting on the damage side? Oh, side lane Johanna! I like it. They go for a mad frontline again. Are they going for the triple once more? Junkrat is still up. Chromie is still up. Mephisto has been banned, so he's up. And there's Chromie. So they go for Chromie. And with Jojo, you're looking at an interesting one. Now, if this is a little bit new to you, first of all, we already had a double tanked, like proper tank Diablo and Stitches game by Team Copium in one of the previous series that was on Towers of Doom against the Cats. But the Johanna side lane is something that we have seen actually for a long time, and here you need the additional AoE on the shrine and also the position that can really help you. Johanna brings a lot of the things that you want from a side laner. And we have Deathwing and Tyrael. Holy hell. We're going wild on this one right from the beginning. Yep. Johanna, again, she has an escape tool, yeah, she has a shield, she has the AoE, she has some self-sustain, so all things that you want from a side laner makes it very hard to take her down. And then once that the game moves past level 10, you have a double front line that you can work with, also additional stun and CC. But yeah, that together with Chromie, it's getting wild here, and Deathwing for the opponent's team. So Diablo comes in, but boy, we are really in for a treat here. First we had the Vikings and Illidan, now we got Deathwing. It's a crazy day. Let's go, everybody. Map number 2. We have Infernal Shrines coming up between the Raiders and Team Copium. Copium against the Raiders. Game number 2. We got Casper on Johanna. We got Simply on Diablo. Vexu on Brightwing. Gavlon, Genji, and Nano is playing Chromie once again, going for the big boy damage here. On the right side of the map, Sven playing Rega. We got Galaxy on Tyrael. Uki is playing Blaze. We got Gia on Hanzo and Vito on Deathwing. So, off we go. Deathwing is in the house. Haven't seen him in a long time. I mean, he was a staple. When was that? 2 years ago? 2.5 years ago? But yeah, Deathwing on level 1 with a Molten Blood. And he plays a proper skin. We're not getting that turkey chicken skin, so we get a proper dragon skin. And a beast step. Yeah, not bad. If that is what starts the game off, you immediately Deathwing beast stepping into your opponent's face, then you know it's going to be a good game. So yeah, here we are. But as it stands, we got, of course, with Chromie a lot of burst damage. Then you can have Genji for follow-ups and chasing target down, trying to get that swift strike in. But I'm really curious how this is now going to work out for them. I mean, it's a bit of a wild one. First of all, you have very likely the Sanctification and bunker play from the Raiders, and you got Deathwing behind this. A lot of plays with AoE around the shrine with the Molten Flame that you can execute there. They just looked at Diablo and they looked at the Lightning Breath and they were like, wait a second, wait a second, wait a second. There's another hero that can do that too. Just more often. Just better. And it is Deathwing. So maybe they can take those objectives, lock the Punishers in, and then make their big plays. But I kind of like that they're thinking a little bit outside of the box here too. If that's going to be successful or not, that's of course, as always, a very, very different question. But yeah, they're having an interesting approach here. With Chromie, they're going to have a very annoying game though. We've seen in previous matches already what a beast Nano can be with that hero, and it's just an utter pain in the ass. All of that burst damage that comes out whenever you get those stuns in. And if they coordinate well around Diablo and the CC that he brings to the table, and also, of course, Johanna, then they can definitely do a number on the heroes on the red team. But okay, we have, for now, level 4 talents available. And with that, we're now getting the Earth of Enchant. We have also a bit of a playmate in the middle of the map as Casper is nearly taken down, but Diablo is also diving deep as he's trying to get to Rega. But they still gotta move out here, so they don't have an easy one on their hands just yet. Here's that side lane Jojo that we talked about a bit as well. And as I already said, Johanna is actually a pretty sexy side laner. She can do a whole lot with that. If she, I mean, again, she has the AoE, she has the sustain, she has the shield that she can get away with. And also, if needed, you can go for level 1 into the Laws of Hopes, depending on the map. In this case, we have, as usual, the Zealous Glare, but there's options that you can execute, depending on what you need. And then later on, you have some really serious frontline meet there, when she and Diablo are just working tag team with the big hit point pools that they have, plus all of the CC that they bring, so it's difficult for the Raiders to burn through that. First Shrine is about to activate, but this is of course all playing out with level 7 talents soon coming in. And yeah, let's see who takes the first one. Once the rogue abilities are there, the game is definitely going to shift a little bit, but for now, it's all about the 5 versus 4 at the bottom of the map, because Jojo hasn't made a move yet. She's still sitting topside. Jojo still up at the top. Down here, Garflo low, and yeah, they're forced away. I mean, again, the biggest problem is it is a 5 versus 4 at the end of the day. Jojo is now moving down, but this is good damage at the top, so she dealt with the camp first, but I don't really think, yeah, she's actually cancelling the plans. We have Genji trying to slow Blaze down a bit as he rotates topside, but of course they're just going to try and do as much damage here as they possibly can, because Johanna realized quickly that she won't be able to do anything about the Punisher taken at the bottom of the map. So the play is still happening here. They're even tag teaming Blaze now. And the wall has been destroyed. Question remains, how much damage can the Raiders do now? Raiders are going to look to at least equalize the situation here. And do as much as they possibly can in this spot. So yeah, could work out for them. Alright. Bit of a lead. We haven't seen a single kill yet, by the way. That might change now. But up to this point, not a single kill. There's a temporal loop for Chromie. Could use that now too. It's a frozen Punisher too, so those ones always annoying to deal with. But yep, here we are again. Top side, still our 1v1. And it's time for the camps. Yeah, Raiders against Copium. The lead taken by the blue team, but at least on the second map, they're all taking a bit of a step back. Conviction, by the way, and the Eternal Retaliation. So already a couple of adjustments being made here on Johanna, given the circumstances. She's not played as the main tank here. Doesn't have to. Also on level 7 we got the Blood and Thunder Blood and Thunder for Rhaegar. And both of them looking for level 10 abilities. Very similar damage done to those forts, by the way. So up at the top and down at the bottom. And now the fight for the third camp. Pretty usual as well. They are getting some really nice damage in on the blue team side, but just not enough to force the Raiders back. And the Raiders are always rotating the 5th hero over too. So Chromie is sitting at 16,000 damage, roughly the same that Hanzo has. Just looking for some extra structural damage at the top, whereas the Raiders are pushing that bot lane. Everybody is waiting for level 10 abilities, and here they are. So now they can start to make that play. We got the X-Strike, Blessed Shield, and on the other side, Sanctification. Bunker has been used. The only question is, what is Hanzo going to take? Arrow or Meme Strike? Arrow it is, YOLOs it out, hits 3, but he can't do enough with it. And in comes Deathwing. Yeah. 5 versus 5. Blessed Shield has also been used, so they're actually throwing out all of the ults more or less in that little encounter here. But still nobody dead, so we are 6.5 minutes into the game and not a single hero has fallen yet. Diablo gets fully focused though, and Brightwing with the save. The jet propulsion doesn't connect, so he should be able to walk away here. And Genji, he barely makes it out. Hanzo still trying to play this out against Dibbles, and I guess that could be a kill. Both of them have a few heroes incredibly low here. Hanzo in particular is just barely making it out time and time again as others are using or trying to chase him down here. It's crazy that we still don't have a single kill. I mean, they've been unleashing this completely. Multiple ults thrown out a couple of times here in that last fight even. It's just bonkers. But the next shrine is now popping up and everybody is just retreating to get mana and hit points back. But yeah, it's a bit of a wild one. 7 minutes in, not a single death, and all of them, I mean, dead even here. So they are crushing this one. Camp taken a bit faster by the Raiders. It's actually not taken at all by Team Copium. They're going for the shrine instead, which means that now topside there's a bit more push by the red team happening. But it's all about the objective. And at least here, Team Copium is taking a small but significant lead. Brightwing going down to the bottom of the map, looking a little bit more experienced in and trying to save that fort. But I like what the Raiders are doing. They're really holding their own right now. Question is always just for how long. Can the blue team turn these fights around again? We're 8 minutes in. We haven't seen a single kill yet, but this is a big one. This is an Arcane Punisher that's going to spawn here now too. 17 to 17 stacks. And Chromie with the damage against Deathwing immediately. And Genji is on him. Genji is immediately on him, trying to take him down here. But Gaffel needs to X-Strike away. The arrow hits him hard. And they were trying to drop him quickly, especially with Hanzo following. But they couldn't quite make it happen. Ancestral is keeping them play again. Sanctification has been used too. And the first blood is Johanna. Jojo is dead. And Diablo might die too. Brightwing saves simply in the last moment possible, pretty much. But another Punisher is about to be taken by the Raiders. A single kill in this game thus far. Level 13 coming up. And yep, this is a very, very interesting second map. Very interesting one indeed. And the Raiders are fighting tooth and nail to maintain a chance to go to the main event. So here we are with a push through the middle. Obviously they're aiming to take down the fort here. And you know what? They might just be able to get this one. They're also looking for additional kills, and the blue team trying to force them back as best they can. Jojo is still, well, missing. She's topside, so she's currently doing her thing there, locking the experience in for them. And now with the fort saved for now, but taking a lot of damage, they're also going for the camp. Sanctification isn't up. Blessed Shield is out. They tried for Hanzo, but couldn't get him. And Genji had to move back out. They're just not able to get a kill right now. Chromie is doing a lot of work, but she's just not able to finalize any of the kills. Big arrow on the way still to NA. So yeah, that arrow is traveling a little bit ahead. European teams are going to follow in a couple of weeks, but that arrow is already scouting out the landscape and double checking what's going on there. 14. 10 minutes in and a single kill. Only one kill. Damage numbers for Chromie, she's at 41,000, 44,000 for Hanzo now. And they are going for the camps, but it is an endless battle, it seems. So not really a big difference in experience. They tried for a second kill against Johanna, but that didn't work out either. It's one of those games that you really feel it's on knife's edge for the longest time, and then you always, like in the back of your head, you always have that little voice or that fear where you think, oh damn, at any point this could just completely snowball once that somebody tips the scales in their favor. And the Raiders, they have taken a big step towards that with the kill and also the 2 forts that they've now dropped very low, but they haven't really been able to build up a lot of momentum yet. So again, Deathwing gets poked, but they're also going for Diablo here. And Jojo is always a bit late to the party. But as she's starting to join more of the team fights, all of that CC that she has in the AoE is going to play a bigger role. With level 16 talents now coming up, we have of course a couple more power spikes dropping too. And well, Galaxy is just zipping around with his Tyrael. It's a spicy one. They are looking for a blessed shield, but nobody's falling for that trap yet. In the meantime, we have Deathwing attempting over and over again to control these choke points a bit with his own stuns. But there's level 16 for the Raiders. And again, Hunger of the Wolf following up the Blood and Thunder and the Feral Heart. And in this case, we have now also the Horadric Reforging, Piercing Arrow, and the level 16 talents on the side of the blue team give us the synergy with the level 1 talent, the Holy Renewal. We're also getting Criterize in, and of course the final cut. Wild one. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm here for this one. This is an awesome second game. There's always the danger in a series like this that a team is just completely murdering it. But baiting out that arrow was also not too shabby. They might have been able to get the kill against Tyrael, but thanks to Hanzo, Tyrael escaped. The problem is that this is a big cooldown that has just been burned before the objective arrives. So, yep, that one's a little bit unfortunate for the Raiders, but maybe they can make this work after all. Genji's already jumping in, Diablo is still safe. They're trying to hold the position on the shrine, but this is going to be the big one. I mean, at this point, if you're the blue team, you really want to fight back here. Blessed Shield is out. They're trying to go for Rhaegar. Rhaegar! The Sanctification and the Ancestral. Keep him alive. But that's nearly all of the defensive cooldowns now burned by the Raiders. So big problem. Really, really big problem here. And, well, they might be able to re-engage because Chromie is going to have her ult back up in 25 seconds if it ever comes to that. But she's firing out the damage against Deathwing, and Deathwing turns into Deadwing. Deadwing is gone. Now we're seeing the next playmate for Blaze, who already used his bunker. They're trying to body block him completely, and I do not think he has a chance there. Galaxy was attempting to help out, but it might also cost him the life as he jumps back in. Chromie nails him. Full arrow into 5, but Tyrael wasn't able to close that distance here. Big win in this team fight for Team Copium. They get Hanzo, the Blessed Shield is back up, and oh boy, 5-man team wipe. They take the entire team. Big plays being made. 5 kills to 1. They dropped everybody. Now they're a level ahead. They take the fort down. And of course, they will still get that Punisher and maybe therefore some damage in on the top lane keep, or at least the wall. You have Johanna back in the middle of the map as she's trying to extend the experience lead that the team is holding. And oh boy, that is exactly what I mentioned earlier. If you have an opportunity to, well, if you're at any point in the game, just, you know, tip the scales and take that momentum, and then it might just snowball the entire thing. And right now, it's a big advantage in experience. They have map control, they've taken forts, and the Raiders have to fight back. The Raiders have to fight back here. They're coming in with Tyrael, attempting to steal this away. I'm not sure if they can. The arrow hits hard, though. They steal the camp. They get the kill. They get the double kill. Oh, boy. And they might make it a triple, and indeed they do. And just like that, the Raiders are back to business. Nicely done. And that should be an easy defense against the top Punisher. Yeah, that's about as good as it gets. So they steal the camp that was about to be stolen. And then they get multiple kills, 3 in total. Brightwing, Johanna, and Diablo, they all go down. Now the Mortar Punisher can be defended against. And yeah, this is just nasty. Good stuff. A 4 down, Genji gets destroyed too. The Raiders, they're raiding this one hard. Nice moves by Diablo, escaping here. That was well done by him. Up at the top, I think they didn't realize how much damage this thing would do with only one guy defending. The entire wall is down and that keep is taking way more damage than they thought, I think. So, yep, the keep is down to 50%. I gotta say, that is way more than I personally expected. Level 20 talents are ready, but that top lane has suffered. There's the Blessed Shield. Wow, damn. They're really going for that. They try to go for Rega. Oh, the Ancestral. The Ancestral saves the day for them. They're engaging without level 20, really thinking they got a shot here, while Tyrael is still at the top. And they made it close. They really made it close here. But this isn't over yet by any means. Now both teams have their level 20. Oh, Holy Arena is in. I mean, technically, I'd say... And I guess technically the Raiders are a little bit ahead right now because they took the additional fort down. Granted, the top lane is of course a big liability for the red team, but as long as they don't lose any big team fights, that's not gonna make a difference. Stuns are happening. Nice. Good follow-up too from Hanzo. Brightwing with a heal, and they're still poking. Where's Chromie sitting? She's at 66,000 damage and gets more through, but likely gonna fall now. Nano! Wow! Brightwing and Chromie both trying to escape here, and both of them are dead. Guys, the Raiders with a big opportunity to win the game or at least take a keep. 2 kills already. Can they get more? Arrow shot and hit the target. Casper tries to escape. Genji distracting them a little bit. The bunker had to be used here. They're just attempting to save the rest of the team. Casper gets out. Diablo also on the run, and they're saving the day for now. But it's still a 5 versus 3 that barrels through the bot lane in an attempt to take the keep down. Big damage here from the Raiders. As they kill Brightwing and Chromie, they are also putting Copium into a very tricky position. Super difficult for them to defend here now with what they have left. But they are attempting to do what they can. Genji is the only damage here. In comes the heal. So they're doing well, but the keep is taking damage as expected. And Diablo has to stay away. You don't want staggered deaths right now. They're baiting them deep into the base. There's the lightning breath, and Rega in deep trouble. But everybody retreating, and now Brightwing is back to business, and so is Chromie. I gotta say, that was a very good defense by Team Copium. And respect that nobody died. The Raiders were clearly looking for a follow-up kill. They were looking for these staggered deaths, staggered kills, and they couldn't make it happen. Now we got the shrine happening at the bottom of the map. They are going for their camp. I'm not sure if Rega is going to make it towards the top in time. I think they're going to spend the time there, but that also means that they are a little bit late to the shrine at the bottom of the map. So both teams are going to have their shaman camp. But this is kind of nuts, I gotta say. Yeah, this is getting a little bit crazy here. Fantastic play by the Raiders, I gotta admit. I mean, this was incredibly well done by them. Fighting back time and time again into this wasn't easy. Team Copium, though, they have the head start on with the position. So can they win the Punisher? Now, let's not forget, there is still a fountain down here that's already getting used. Oh, careful! The bunker. Bunker and Sanctification, both used. That's problematic for Blaze. Good stuns. Can they go for the kill? Brightwing jumping out, and Uki on Blaze with a perfect follow-up. Chromie and Brightwing dead again. This looked honestly like a win for the Raiders, and then this little play towards Brightwing with Hanzo's arrow. Gia following it up with the second stun, and now them killing Genji. This might have just decided the game. in favor of the Raiders. Great play here. Hanzo starting things off with a beautiful double stun, and then Blaze waiting for Brightwing to attempt an escape, using the jet propulsion to just absolutely crush it. Diablo moving out, he gets Hanzo'd, the bottom keep gets attacked, Jojo the only one alive, Diablo back thanks to the souls. The top lane keep is, by the way, gonna fall to the camp, so that's gonna be maybe a problem. It all depends on whether or not they can save the core here. If they can save the core, they're still in it to win it. But if they're now getting farmed here and the core goes down, well, then obviously the game ends in favor of the Raiders. There's the Ancestral. Nice. Top keep is gone. But this is the play for game. Diablo is still there. Jojo is coming back, trying to work with the blinds as best as they can. Chromie also reappearing here. They might save it. They might save the core for now. Guys, the red team is losing their own core. The red team is losing their core. The shield is gone. The shield is gone. There's catapults. We're 21 minutes into the game. 21 minutes into the game, the shield is gone. They're gonna lose way more here. 87%, 84%, 80%. They're really struggling. And currently we have the blue team giving chase. Team Copium is once again going for the big cope here, as the catapults are still doing work on the right side. Galaxy goes down. The fuck is happening here? They're making a play for Blaze. They're trying to take him on. They're moving in for Hanzo. It's Blaze that falls first. Two heroes are down. Chromie is chasing Deathwing. Deathwing escapes, but what on God's earth is going on? 79% against 70 on the core. Another catapult on the move. Deathwing trying to deal with it, and they are moving to the top lane now. They're trying to end the game here. They're trying to end the game. Gaflo stunned. Are you kidding me? Full int by Genji. Full int. He did not see that one coming. They try to go for Rhaegar, and he gets crushed. Absolutely crushed. This is bananas. 3 heroes down, 12 seconds for Tyrael, but I don't think they can end, so they retreat. And during all of this, this one is still up. The shrine is still in play. I don't even know if they know that. So Chromie trying to get out of here. Yep, they're moving over to the shrine. One catapult on the core, but what a bonkers game. And now they're taking the lead here. They're trying to move through the bot lane. This is getting nuts. And honestly, a lot of this happened because Genji was just too greedy. Jumped in deep and didn't realize how many heroes he would have to face off against. 33 stacks for them. 4 versus 4 battle right now. Chromie attacked again, and the kill on Brightwing. Trashwing is getting murdered in this game. Absolutely murdered. They're on 36 stacks. Sanctification. Diablo is dead, and this time he's down for an entire minute. They might just have thrown the game. Seems like Genji might have just thrown the game. Him jumping in the way that he did was a problem. And I really hope that they realize what's going on at the top, because if those catapults are now crushing it. Genji is trying to get the last stack. Here we are. They take the Punisher. They at least have the Punisher, everybody. So they might not lose the game right now, but they can't lose additional heroes. And the catapults at the core, and as I say it, Johanna dies. Jojo is dead. Catapults not on the core yet. Deathwing is dealing with this. They're moving down through the bottom of the map. Once again, the temporal loop. They want a kill, and they can't get it. It's Genji that falls. 79% on the core against 50. The Punisher is crushing the bottom fort. Not that it matters. Top side, not close enough to the core. And the red team is about to end it. The Raiders about to win game number 2. Team Copium with a big throw. They made the comeback happen, and then they threw the game. GG, a 1-1 score in best of 5, number 1 between Copium and the Raiders. I gotta admit that I didn't really see game number 2 coming after the first map. That was a bit of a surprise in the way that it shaped out. I mean, at the beginning it was cool because we didn't get any kills, so it really looked like it is this game on knife's edge, and then it kind of went all over the place. I mean, first Team Copium took a big lead, then the Raiders brought it back, then Copium with a comeback, and then the Raiders are locking in a victory. So that was pretty sweet. Really liking what I'm seeing here. Copium against the Raiders, everybody. Garden of Terror is our third map, and with that, it's of course the big question. Can the Raiders maybe make it happen? Are we gonna get into a situation where we're gonna have an insane outcome in this double round robin where we have to maybe even go into a tiebreaker situation or something like that? So yeah. But yeah, we got Sylvanas banned out. Garden of Terror is of course a big map, so this is where globals might play a role again. Talking Falstad, talking maybe even Vikings, considering that the Raiders already played them, but I'm not really sure about those. Dehaga and Falstad are more so the choices. Hogger is big on this map of course too. We have Sylvanas and Sachenhammer both banned, so two heroes that are great at pushing side lanes. Even Greymane can make a bit of a move here, but yeah. It's gonna be interesting what kind of draft the two teams are going for, considering that we already had Illidan, we had the Vikings, and we had Deathwing. So if you start the series off with those picks on relatively normal maps, then Garden of Terror could be a pretty wild ride. Lucio has to be banned out. You don't want to deal with him on Garden of Terror. He just empowers teams too much. But that immediately means that we have Hogger locked in. He's just too good here. With all of the value that he gets on camps, on lanes, yeah, Hogger is an insta-lock. But the Raiders, they're fighting in on this. I mean, if you think about it, the Raiders have already more maps won against Team Copium than the Cats.
Every death comes honor.
Honor!
Honor. Redemption.
Yeah, with every death comes honor. Hanzo got a lot of honor in some of the previous games. But yeah, so we got Blaze and we got Hanzo. So far so good. I mean, Hanzo was played by Gia on the last map, and some of the moves that he made were just incredible. One of the big fights where they were able to secure the camp and get 3 kills started by him getting an arrow and a follow-up on level 20. But it's brother against brother once again, with Gavlo picking Genji. And we have Muradin as the main tank. So, alright. No Dehaka thus far. No Falstad. Brightwing at least banned, so one of the globals is out. I'm still waiting for a bit of an X-Factor pick. Anduin gets banned because they don't want to deal with the light bomb and Genji engage, which makes perfect sense. But yeah, I'm still waiting for a wild one. Okay, so they're banning out Rhaegar. If you really want to have another hero that is good at the camps, then you can of course also drop Greymane if you want to. But Sven has been playing Rhaegar quite a bit, and here he gets a bit of additional value because of the added speed that he adds to any kind of clear on the camps. We've seen some of the previous teams go into Jaina even. Nano in particular has picked Jaina here to make this a bit faster. Ooh. Varian and Tyrande. Alright. Now, that became interesting quickly. Tyrande, again, always a bit of a liability in the sense that she can be ganked up hard and taken down. And with Genji on the other side, that is a problem. But then you you combine her with Varian, and now you have a taunt into a Tyrande stun and a Hunter's Mark. And that, of course, allows you to snipe targets pretty quickly. So if you can get momentum, that's not too bad. But I'm not sure if that's going to work out for them. Oh, Nezebo and Whitemane. Whitemane is pretty good to keep targets alive. So if you sustain anybody through the stun combination and the burst damage that the Raiders are trying to set up with Varian and Tyrande, then you're in for a good team fight. And at the same time, Nezebo wants to go into the late game, which you can normally accomplish here. And even if you have to deal with a Garden Terror wave, Nezebo is good at burning them down. We've seen multiple approaches also with a Toad build here. The only thing that most Nezebo players just don't seem to have is the patience to really bring it to level 20 after they've done a good job stacking initially. Karrigan for even more stuns. Yeah, you know definitely which team is trying to be aggressive here and end the game early and which team is playing for the late game. Garden of Terror, everybody. Map number 3. It's a wild series. This best of 5 is fun, I gotta say. So let's go. The Raiders on Garden of Terror going up against Team Copium. It's a wild one. We got Nezebo in the game. The Toad build is here again, so the wave clear is going to be out of this world for him. Again, if he makes it to level 20 with the Viral Infection, there's a lot of shit that he can pull, especially, of course, on structures. But we have seen those plays in the past, and one of the things that, as I said, Nazebo players oftentimes seem to lack is a little bit of patience. They do a great job in the early and mid game, and then at some point they feel forced into a team fight, lose it, and lose the game all of a sudden. So now we got Casper and Hogga simply on Muradin. Vexo is playing Greymane. We got Gavlo and Genji. And on the right side of the map, it is a massive stun combo. I mean, damn son. Tyrande played by Sven. No game, no life on Hanzo. Gia on Kerrigan. We got Uki on Blaze. And Galaxy is playing Varian. You got stuns on every single hero here. Every single one of them. And if they are able to get those stuns connected, then you are going to be in trouble. So if you're the blue team, you really don't want to take a lot of team fights. Unless, of course... close call. Yeah, a little bit more spider damage and Galaxy would have fallen here. But yeah, as I said, if you can drive... I mean, again, they want to drive momentum. If you're playing this particular draft, you're trying to really just snipe targets, you're trying to connect stuns, go for a quick kill, and then after you get the first one, just follow up with additional ones and snowball it hard. And we have seen that happen. We've seen it work multiple times in the past, and of course it depends also a little bit on Kerrigan, it depends a little bit on the taunt setup after level 4. And it's going to be a very difficult game, at least initially, here for Team Copium. So if they can help... If they can somehow help it and not die to all of this, then that would be big. But the question is always, can they pull that off? Nano is already rotating a bit, trying to get the additional stacks together. Tyrande, of course, she offers more than only the Hunter's Mark and the stun. With the Owl, you can always go for interrupts on channels. You can also scout things out a bit. But... really curious to see what we're going to get in regards to kills from the Raiders. Because if they can get kills and get momentum, then it's going to be very difficult for Team Copium to fight back on that. And it's a huge risk. Now, this is something that we're going to see happen quite a bit, or at least in theory, that's the play that you want to make. You want to move in with Muradin and Genji and/or for Tyrande. But honestly, I don't really think that's going to be possible for them. I mean, what are you going to do? Are you going to come in on move in for Tyrande, jump on her, and then just anybody turns around and starts stunning you? And even Genji can't sustain through all of that easily. So, yeah, I feel they have to sacrifice a lot in the early and mid game. And then starting to, yeah, just try and make a bit of a play with the Zebo in the late game. That might honestly be it. I mean, I'm not quite sure how else you want to play this now, but if they have the patience, and if they do that, they have a shot here. Getting an occasional kill would be great, but yep, there's at least one hit. Stun, of course, still available. Varian went into taunt on level 4. I mean, that was a no-brainer. But, yeah, the game plan, I mean, it has to be late game, right? Honestly, I'm looking at this and I'm racking my brain a bit on how else they would like to do this. Getting the occasional sneaky kill in is definitely something that you can pull off when you're having Genji. But besides that, every single seed that you get is going to be a win for you because it slows down the opponent's progress. And I think there is no way that they can deny all of the seeds to the Raiders and can prevent them from getting the objective at least once. And also, in addition to that, take a few of those forts down. So I think that is pretty much inevitable. But we have already 50 stacks for Nazebo. So with 3 minutes in, and he's at 50 stacks. That's not shabby. That's pretty good. So he should be able to get this done unless they are starting to farm him and take him down. And now they're collapsing onto Tyrande, and that's exactly the play that you need to make. The stuns are there, but Sven is down. That's the kind of gank that you can set up against her that will help her to drop her. This is the big weakness that she has. And they did that well. So if you pull ahead a little bit at this point in time, or you at least don't fall behind, then it's a good move into the right direction. And Nazebo is stacking, he's getting his stuff together. If they get the seed, or like slowing the seed down is great. Taking it is nearly better, so they're doing well for now. And of course there's a lot of merc camps that you can get. You can play with the mercenaries and slow the game down a little bit that way. We still have Hogga pushing the top side out. He's the one that besides Nazebo can also take a lot of the camps. So yeah, pretty cool approach here. 61 stacks. For the red team, they need to try and get some kills. There's the taunt, but they can't get Kerrigan into the action fast enough, and Muradin is close by. But the seed is not getting moved onto, at least for now. So they're letting this sit for at least a bit. Okay, so there's the play being made. Zebo is here too. Genji is taking another camp at the top, and if he gets those siege giants, and the top lane pressure will force somebody from the Raiders to the side eventually. But it is a really interesting game now. Yeah, they are playing for time. The blue team is playing for time. The longer this lasts, the better for them. Okay, so they're trying to make another move down here against Blaze, and not enough CC to really facilitate that yet. On level 7, we of course also have the intercession. That's going to be really important against the Tauntaun variant. It's a 45-second cooldown though that you're playing with. Up towards the top, still a 1v1 battle, but Taunt has already been used, or 1v2. And Gavlo is getting away from the stun. He is level 10. And the usual ults are taken. Oh, even going for the arrow. Ooh, boy. Oh, boy. Useless arrow on its way to an A. 81 stacks now for Nazebo, and still nobody has gone for that seed. I'm honestly a little bit flabbergasted by the fact that we haven't seen the Raiders make a move for this, because again, in my personal opinion, the Raiders are the one that would benefit from momentum, and they would benefit from applying more pressure. And if any of these two teams is totally fine waiting for the late game, then it's the blue team, because they get the viral infection. And they are stacking Nazebo more and more and more. And he already does a lot of damage with those toads. I mean, look at what he does just at the bot lane here. And now imagine that he's properly stacked and just doing work. Nice trap. Very nice trap. And that's a good killing on Genji. So that was pretty awesome. And that will help them to go for the top 4, I suppose. But it's also opening up a seed opportunity down here if the blue team wants to take it, which they currently don't, it seems. And White Mane and Nazebo are both moving in. They're falling for these traps a little bit, but Muradin is now also on the move. Misses the Stormbolt on the other hand, so that's a problem. Nano is still fine. Seed still not taken, but the top 4 is about to go down. So here's finally that pressure that we've been talking about. 1 fort destroyed, and it's not going to be the only one. They will take more than that down. And Team Copium has to be prepared to sacrifice that. It's a bit of a one-trick pony play. You have one card to play in this game. And the question is, can you? I guess it's a little bit more than only one card. They can also... Oh, well, there's the taunt. Stun, 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 stun. Yep, that's it. Full stun city. I mean... This is exactly the kind of play that we can expect from the Raiders. It was without Kerrigan. And now they're going for the seed. We're 7 minutes and 30 seconds into the game, and we're on level 12 already as the first seed is channeled. So it's all about the momentum here. Nazebo is sitting at 99 stacks on the baseline. But as he is stacking, they are trying to interrupt. And this time it didn't really work, so the first one is claimed. Muradin had to also use his ult. So, yep, Nazebo is back in the mid lane. There is an advantage for the Raiders now, for sure, but, yeah, again, it's a slow and steady approach. And they're trying to gank him, and that's a kill. Goodbye, my friend. Was nice knowing you. Yep, that's the problem. You can't just simply stay on the lane this long when you don't know where your opponent is. This is exactly the problem right here. You have to play it incredibly slow and really cautious if you want to make this work. Because now he's down for another 15 seconds and that's all time in which he cannot stack. And the opponent has the entire map at their disposal. Toads on level 13, so now we got the Guardian Toads in too. But you can really see the problem here. And this is risky. This is really tricky to go for a play like this. It only works on big maps, and even there it can be a problem. 7 more levels until they have level 20, and 65 stacks are needed for him to get the viral infection threshold. Kerrigan at the top, everybody else doing a bit of work down at the bottom of the map. It's obviously Hogger mainly who is doing a lot of push work. They're trying to interrupt again. It's all about buying time. You want to buy as much time as you can. Oh, if they can get that kill. Ooh, Galaxy. Yeah, that would have been nice. Taking Varian out in that situation would have been the absolute dream. Hogger isn't here yet. Get another connect, and they're still taking structures here. But the second seed is likely going to be gathered by the Raiders. It's all about buying time. They can retreat. They don't have to fight this through. Nicely done. Ravenous Spirit. Mad value. Oh my god, that was good. Great play here. They get the double kill. Varian and Blaze both gone. That's the dream, boys. Not only do you get 2 kills, you get the seed, I mean eventually, and you have Nazeebo getting more stacks and at the same time access to one of the forts that they can maybe even take down now. It doesn't get much better than that. This is glorious for them. Slow the game down even further, get more experience for yourself, destroy a fort on the opponent's side, passive experience gain. Yeah, that's fantastic. Now Nazeebo is on his way down to the bottom of the map to get a couple more stacks together. So, Ravenous Spirit, value, good stuns, real nicely done. And we have him at 128 stacks now. So he's getting closer, roughly 50 missing. And Genji is going for camps again, and they are trying to drive the train. The pain train is coming, the ult's out, and they are surviving through all of it. Yeah, and the toads are there for all of this. Careful, my friend. You gotta stay a bit away from this. Look how deep they're going for this one. Arrow is completely missing. They were thinking that they would dodge out towards the top, but they put them into a corner. Kerrigan dies, so did Whitemane though. Genji and Hogga are taking the top fort down, so it's only going to be a trade. The Raiders are going to get a trade here, but the top lane is going to get murdered by this. So as they are 5-manning the bottom of the map, they're trading kills and they're trading structures, but that's all that they can accomplish. Nazeebo is on his way into the mid lane now. And has to be also careful again that he doesn't get caught here, because the rotation towards the middle of the map is absolutely inevitable. It is going to happen. Yeah, gets the toads out. Couple more hits in. 16 on both sides now. Nazeebo also. I mean, no ice block or anything. Just goes straight into the Soul Harvest, 2 on level 16. So we have him on 142. They want to interrupt again. This one didn't happen. Well, the second one does. Ravenous Spirit. Buying more time. Again, they are buying more time. That's the main goal here. Delay this. If you can get it for yourself, that's the dream, because you will delay it even further. The Hanzo interrupt attempt doesn't work out, so they get the second seed. This is fantastic for the blue team. This is really great. This little guerrilla warfare that they currently have going for themselves is working out splendidly. 4 kills to 4, ahead in experience. Only 30 stacks away from the Wild Infection stacks. And they have 2 seeds and the opponent only has 1. Yep. That's pretty awesome. So, as long as the red team is getting more bold now. And they need to. Fight for the camp. Gotta be a bit careful. Again, you shouldn't overdo it with the fights here. So Nazeebo, he can still get the toads and everything out, but he should stay away. Here are the stuns, there's the kill, Hogga down. Everybody else moving back. Tyrande has fallen, they might go for Blaze too, and they're about to get the kill. Guys, this is great. This is, for Copium, this is an absolute perfect game right now. They are ahead in kills, they have the superior numbers, Nazeebo is stacking, the late game approaching, another seed is up. It doesn't get much better than this. They've lost 2 forts, that's all that they had to sacrifice so far. But even in the team fights, they can still keep up with the opponent, which is absolutely not a given if you're going up against the CC train that is as strong as what the Raiders are doing here. So now we have Nazeebo just 15 stacks away. They're going also at the same time now for the seed, and there's nobody stopping them. So this is going to be a Garden Terror. They're going to get the wave. Garden Terrors are in. And Nazeebo can fully stack, get to the Wild Infection. That is such a difficult game for the Raiders to play now. Now, they still have a chance to carry a team fight. So, there's always the possibility for them to unleash the combo on a single target, blow it apart, and then chase the rest of the team down. Especially since the distance of safety is now much longer. So, that is an option. But they have to really make the plays now. Big arrow. There's again the Ravenous Spirit attempt, and it is working. They take Varian down, and now they are murdering not only the bottom fort with the Garden Terrors, but they're also starting to nibble at the first 2 keeps in the game. And Nazeebo is nearly done with the stacks, and it's only half a level until they have level 20. The first keep is definitely going to fall. This is what I talked about a bit earlier. Nazeebo is just crushing structures, and that's especially going to be visible on the core after he has his level 20. So the keep in the mid lane is already gone. There's the stuns once again, the ult from Whitemane. They're keeping everybody alive here. Another potential kill. kill. Kerrigan in trouble. She's dead. 8 kills to 5. They're closing in on 20. They're going for Blaze. Uki is down. And this is likely gonna be it. 20 any moment, and now they have the Vile Infection, and Nazebo is gonna burn that core to pieces, or whatever structure they're going to attack. Yeah, this is going to be a nightmare. Nazebo is popping off now. I mean, just look at this. The core is melting away. Absolutely melting away. Nazebo just attacks it with spiders and with a couple of toads, and that's it. That's game. That's a 2-1 lead in the best of 5 for Team Copium. Garden of Terror goes to the blue team. Nicely done, GG, and well played. Game number 4. Bit of a wild one there on Garden of Terror. Was pretty well played by Team Copium, despite the fact that they didn't have such a strong mid and early game composition. They were able to hold their own against the Raiders. Raiders playing it a little bit less aggressive than I thought they would with the comp that they were playing there, but once that Nazebo hit level 20 in that last fight, they could of course instantly decide that they would make a move for the core and just melt it away. With the Vile Infection and the Tolls combined, you could just see their core disappearing. I mean, it was crazy. One moment it was there, the next moment it's on 20% HP and then just simply gone. So nicely done by Team Copium. But, well, here we are. We have game number 4 coming up, and this is of course the first match point for Team Copium, who have now the 2-1 lead over the opponent's team. We get the bans on Lucio and on Sergeant Hammer again. Dragonshire being a very different beast in the way that it plays out. But there's a ban on Hogger. For the top lane, of course, you could still consider also Rexa. I think that Raider has actually played him before. Hanzo is banned. Alright, no more arrows. Yeah, no more arrows for this game. But that leaves us with a lot of choices. You can go Teaka, you can go Rexa at the top lane. Brightwing gets first and foremost taken. But there's also Blaze still up, so those are pretty much the most popular side laners that we have on the map here. Muradin is another good frontline tank if you want to play him. We've seen a lot of Johanna here, Diablo. And when it comes to damage, it's actually going to be interesting to see what Team Copium is going to do with this. We've seen a couple of Tracer games from them as well, so depending on the composition, that would be maybe an option. But first we get Sylvanas and we get Diablo. So they're letting the side laners slide for now. I mean, there's plenty around that are all solid, so no real rush on locking one of them in. And here comes the double pick. And this is a bit of a moment of truth again. So as I said, with the lead here, Copium, they are super close of qualifying for Miami. Rexa, the king of Dragonshire, once again taken together with Genji. So we have Rex at the top lane, Genji not played against him, which makes it a bit harder to gank him. There's a couple of heroes that have, of course, the added mobility if they really want to pressure him with a rotation. But they have to pick that first. Right now, we're looking at bans, and with Galaxy and Gia, the final ones, they could ban on the main tank, get rid of one of the frontliners, and, you know, Zagara. We had a Zagara play the other day, and it didn't work out at all, but that was also Zagara picked into Genji. So at this point in time, they're looking at the comp and they're like, wait a second. We've seen some of the stuff before. You played a Zagara, and yes, it didn't work out for you, but one of the main reasons why it didn't work out was that you played into a Genji with her and into more mobility. I think it was Muradin also on the other side, and Zagara didn't fare well against that at all. But now that a lot of this is picked away, they're just saying, just to be safe here, we're going to get rid of Zagara so that we don't have to deal with that, because we are not looking at all that mobility right now. Chromie gets banned, nobody wants to deal with her. That leaves us with, yeah, well, Nano. I mean, we could see also a mage approach by him. Currently we have Sylvanas locked in by him, so Gavlo, that's another one. Yeah, but what are they going for on the side lane? Blaze and Anduin. Blaze and Anduin. Could it be a Tracer play after all? Is there a chance that we're going to get a Tracer? I mean, Brightwing against her, you got Misha, so there's a bit of CC that can be used no matter what's getting picked right now. But with Anduin, even if you just use Diablo for the light bomb engage, you can make a lot of plays there. The double pick incoming. Okay, Galaxy and Gia. What's tanking? Is it again the single? No, it's a Nubarak. And Nubarak with Genji for the big dive and Lunara behind it. Okay. Here we are. Gavlo, last one to pick. And they're really hesitating on this, aren't they? Yeah. Okay, what's it gonna be for them? It's Tracer. It's Tracer. Right on the money with this one. Dragonshire, map number 4, everybody. Could be the final map, of course, in the entire qualifier. If Team Copium takes it, they get the ticket to Miami. Let's jump into the fourth map and see if the Raiders can force map number 5 if we go the full distance, or if Team Copium takes victory. Copium against the Raiders. We're on Dragonshire, and on the left side we have Casper on Blaze. We get Nano on Sylvanas, Simply with Diablo, Vexu, Anduin, and Gavlo on Tracer. So here we are. We got Tracer and Anduin, so the light bomb can still work for them. This is the big opportunity for Team Copium to get their ticket to Miami. It is a match point. And on the right side of the map, we got Uki on Rexa for the Raiders. We got Sven on Brightwing. We got Galaxy on Nubarak. And of course, with Gianna on Genji and No Game No Life on Lunara, they got a lot of damage, a lot of poke, a lot of slows, CC, stuns. It's a good comp. It is a pretty good comp here, and, well, the blue team, yes, they have a chance to decide all of the entire last chance qualifier in their favor. But as you could see, the Raiders, they are not willing to let this one go just yet. So they are trying to bring it back here. It's a very rotation-heavy map, of course. One of the main reasons why Rexa is just so strong on this map is that he always can control the objective at the top side, and that alleviates a lot of pressure from the remaining team as they're fighting for the second shrine at the bottom of the map. Brightwing, by the way, gets completely murdered down here, and that's the first blood in the game. We have a battle at the top too, and here Blaze gets killed by Gia. So we got a kill for a kill. And everybody is just looking for, yeah, a lead in the game, an opening that would allow them to snowball this a bit. With Sylvanas, you have that added push power that they're using down here now to try and take some of these towers down a notch, and the minion wave is assisting them as we speak. But, yep, top side, Tracer will every now and then make a bit of a move to just make sure that Rexa is not going to have a super easy time controlling that shrine. Which, by the way, immediately means that they have to, of course, spend some resources to go for those rotations. But Misha is already down, so they got the kill there. And they're also going a bit on Genji and push him further back. And even a Nubarak is getting chased here. So there's a stun, but well, not a stun. They're making the engage, but the wall stun didn't really work out. One shrine at the bot lane is going to be taken, but as per usual, Rexa is going to claim the top eventually, unless somebody rotates over. Nobody in the middle to get the first Dragonite. It would be a really early one. But they're fighting back down here. And look at that, a very confident Rexa player. Once more, happened in one of the previous games. So we have him straight with the animal husbandry. Brightwing gets attacked again. The bomb! Oh, nearly a kill. Tracer needs to get out of there, though. And now they're focusing also on Sylvanas, who gets saved by Anduin. Yeah, job well done. But animal husbandry for Rexa. So he's very confident that he's going to be able to sustain himself throughout these fights and not fall. We have top side, still the rotation between Rexa and Blaze from middle to top and back. Shrine is taken. Both shrines are taken. And he's going for it. And he's going to take it. He's going to take it. Yep, that's a Dragonite. That's a Dragonite. No, what? Diablo goes down at the bottom of the map, and somehow Blaze was able to sneak it in. I mean, that must have been half a second. Did Tracer interrupt, or did Blaze really get that in time? I mean, honestly incredible. I was 100% certain. I would have bet money on him being able to lock that one in. That one was a close call. Not so much a close call is that kill at the bot lane. So Sylvanas is dead, and we have 3 kills to 1. The Raiders are bringing the pain all of a sudden. Team Copium Yeah, I mean, again, theirs is the late game usually. But this is a great start for the Raiders. Now they're showing the aggression that I already expected to see from them on the last map on Garden of Terror. Taking flight on level 7. We got the subterranean shield. Bit of added pressure that will result in the bottom fort losing some hit points. No Dragon Knight yet. But all the way up at the top, we now get Casper trying to take this. Misha is just like chilling. Misha is chilling right there. Down to the bottom of the map. We now have Simply doing his thing and trying to reclaim. Tracer still up at the top, trying to pressure Rexa a little bit, so they're 2v1ing now, but Lunara is moving in too. And, well, here we are. With that, we have them going for a Nuburak right now, trying to take him, but, yep, he just retreats. Control for each team on one of the shrines, down to the bottom of the map with Sylvanas pushing. That's a bit of an issue though, because there's not enough heroes here to deal with this, and there's also a siege giant camp. So there it is. The entire wall has been destroyed. That's a nice opening. They're even going for Galaxy again, and it's solid damage. They might even get Genji if they can just close that gap here, which wasn't really possible for them, but the pressure continues. Brightwing is now helping out at the bottom of the map too, which makes it a bit easier to hold the top lane, but there's a continuous amount of damage coming in on that fort. It's down to 50% HP, more or less, and that's really nice pressure through Sylvanas. So, Copium with some really good moves here. Again, Nuburak gets attacked here. They want to have some extra damage on him. And he's, every time he makes an engage, immediately in trouble. But the rotation of Lunara is something that they apparently didn't realize was happening. So that's one kill. Sylvanas is dead. They overstayed. In comes Tracer. She's trying to get some kills, but I think they're going to lose more, especially with Anduin being this low. So yeah, Scavlo is also retreating. 2 heroes dying. That's level 10. And wow. Yeah, they did a great job with the push initially, but they overstayed again, and apparently the rotation from the top wasn't called, or they just saw it happen too late. So they're attempting to buy a bit of time, but they need to buy a lot of time here, considering that we are talking about level 10 in the hands of the Raiders. And they are making another move here. Cocoon is being used. I guess Tracer is still going to be able to make it out. And at the bottom of the map, they were forcing Lunara back out. Tracer stunned once, twice. Not able to hit a button. Fully stun locked, and that's another kill. 6 kills to 1, and they are heavily ahead right now. I'm not quite sure, but it seems that Team Copium is a little bit off. The rotation of Lunara from the top lane should have been called at least, so I'm not sure if she was sneaking away somehow and they didn't have vision, if it wasn't called, or if they simply thought they had a bit more time. But it led to multiple kills, that led to a Dragon Knight, and now we have not only a level lead, but a 5 kill gap between the two teams. Dragon Knight is still doing some damage, and it was initially the blue team that did a lot of work here with the help of Sylvanas at the bot lane, but now it's the exact reverse situation where the Raiders are pushing in the middle, pushing at the bottom. 10 abilities are at least available for both. But if Team Copium wants to have a chance here, they need to fight back and get some kills. They are 1 level behind, and while at this point in time it might not be a big deal, it's definitely going to be a problem around level 13 and even more importantly around level 16. So, here we are. They're trying to go for Lunara again. And Gavlo is of course a bit of a linchpin here too. Now that they have the light bomb, he can engage quickly. Got a few more stuns, already attempting to use those. And Sylvanas gets followed, and Genji gets that kill. Yep, and now they're going for Anduin again. Anduin with a light bomb, so he gets at least a stun out, but I'm not sure if that helps him to survive. Nice barbecue. Lunara is dead. Ah, well done. That meat is nice and tender. So they get the counter kill, and they might be able to get a little bit more, especially with Diablo engaging again, just swapping them around here. Rexa has still not died ever since he picked up his level 4 talent, so at least up to this point, the animal husbandry is working well for them. But you never know when Misha and Rexa are going to get in a divorce. Okay, so... I like how Gia is doing such a great job to follow up on any mobility that we're seeing from the blue team. He's really doing a great job here. We got the aspect of the Hawk now too, so he's really swooping in with this. Level 13 also gives them the acid-drenched mandibles. We got the Way of the Shimada. So there's a couple of adjustments on talents that has been made by the Raiders. Still not a single fort that has been destroyed. It's still fairly even just overall. It's just that gap in experience and kills that sets the two teams apart. But here comes the Shrine again. Keep in mind that also with the Anubarak engage, if Sylvanas now follows up with a Wailing Arrow, she can get kills here too. The stun hits her regardless, but she's able to jump out. And Blaze is still working on that camp, and he takes it. So they have now an advantage at the top lane at least. When it comes to camp control, they did a really good job so far. But, yep, objective is up. They're going for Rexa. They want that kill. They want to get that level 4. There's the Wailing Arrow, and Nano jumps straight into 4 heroes, not realizing how many were there. Misha is about to fall. The bunker saving the day for them. The question is just for how long. They're trying to chase them back, and this time Anubarak gets stunned hard by the light bomb. So it started off with a pretty unfortunate situation for Nano, because he did not see that there were 4 heroes that he was jumping into. He was just trying to follow Rexa. How the hell are they still keeping this one, by the way? But yeah. But now they got the kill. So they got the kill on Anubarak, and they are aiming for the fort at the bottom of the map. So in we go. For the time being, we have them also still zipping around with Tracer, who might be in some trouble here, but is still alive and kicking. They get the double control on the shrines. They have destroyed the bottom fort, but they are obviously realizing that's going to be a tough sell to go for the Dragonite. So instead, they're moving in on the objective at the bottom of the map, mini objective. They're going here for the camp, trying to get some additional pressure in. But the chase at the top is now ongoing, and Casper is for some reason still sticking it out on the shrine. I have no idea why he thinks that's necessary. So Tracer is going to fall. They're committing fully to this, and Casper is also going to die. I don't know who he bought time for, because there was nobody even close to the Dragonite. The team was at the bot lane. He still survives, which is in and of itself respectable. So job well done, I guess. Somebody needs to deal with that bot lane though, because this is going to be some damage on the structures. I don't think they can get that kill on Sylvanas, or can they? How many stuns are they going to lock in? Not enough, because Anduin is still close enough to go for the pull. Yeah. 15.5. They're looking at 16, and Blaze is going back to the top and retakes. So is Genji at the bot lane though. And this push is still happening. So with the catapult, they've taken 1 tower down. The gate is going to fall, and maybe the 2nd tower can be destroyed as well. So all over the place now. Good action with Blaze buying more time for the team, because they do not want to lose out on this. But they're making a move for Genji. That hasn't really worked yet. No light bomb engaged though. So they still have a couple of their ults available, and that also includes the Wailing Arrow. And this bot lane push is still doing work. I mean, they're going to get the entire thing. 16 talents are ready, Anubarak, and wow, he gets out, but then Tracer engaging, and they get a double kill. They're taking Brightwing and Anubarak both down, and this is Copium gaining more and more of a foothold in this game, and also more momentum, of course, as you can see here. Nano gets attacked over and over by Lunara, but they want the keep, or at least a bit of damage. They're going for another stun, and Genji's in real trouble here. There's only 3 heroes that are still alive, and Lunara in particular has taken a lot of damage already. They are going to crush this keep, no doubt about it. And that is a big advantage. If you get a Dragonite, you can technically still, well, immediately try and make a move for the core itself. Now it's early in the game. Oh, that would be a brilliant solo kill if you can get that. But instead, it is Rexa that should be careful. Yeah, Lunara is also low. There's again the ult from Rexa. It's a Dragon Knight, potentially, if they can move into the mid lane and claim it. They've taken out the lead in experience. Team Copium, they have a bit of control here. And the bot lane, of course, a huge thorn in their side. 1 stun, and the will of the Forsaken to save the day here. The level 16 with real value for Sylvanas is going to be a lot harder now to take Nano down. Big play for Brightwing again. First they are going for Misha, and she's gone, but Genji takes the shrine at the bottom of the map and denies the Dragon Knight to Team Copium. Nice. Nicely done. Alright, so it's still a ring around rosy play that we're seeing from both teams as they're just going from one shrine to another. But the pressure is on. They're trying for the Dragon Knight. Yeah, Tracer already throwing this out. Stun is in. First interrupt is ready. Top side. Rek'Sai is attempting to retake, but Blaze is buying time, and they get it. Dragon Knight is in. Now we're only 13 minutes in. Are they going really for core? I don't think so. It's too early. So instead, trying to get value in the middle of the map. Trying to take maybe a kill. Trying to take the fort down. And forcing them to defend here. But the Dragon Knight gets therefore focused very heavily. This is a 5 versus 5 after all. And they get some real nice damage in. Might even be able to also take the entire fort, but they're not going to get more than that. It's just too early. The Dragon Knight is simply not strong enough yet to go for the core here. So the fort is destroyed. Good stun. And the Wailing Arrow, the follow-up. They get 1. They get 2. They get the triple. 3 kills. And now the fuck was that? Casper inting. Casper fat-fingering his ult, 0 reason, gets pinged immediately. So he should. They're trying to make the move for the core, and they should at least be able to get a little bit of damage on it, but they are also low. Death time is at 20 seconds. They're doing the best they can here. The triple kill was fantastic, of course, but can they end the game? They're removing the shield and they're doing damage, and that might be the end of Rexor! No! Still alive, still kicking, but the core is going down, and Team Copium is about to get the ticket to Miami. They qualify for the Heroes International with a 3-1 victory over the Vinland Raiders. Nicely done. GG and well played. Team Copium goes to Miami.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.